Hello and welcome to the Orca Pod covering Backyard Survivor One Well Season 5. We are the Apex Predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting, here to get into all the action that was this 5th episode. A lot happening, and of course, as always, I have joining me my fabulous co-host, Dani, returning from an absent week.
Hi, I'm happy to be back.
You were watching live last week. How good was the 12th?
Very good. Well done.
Thank you to Zach for making it interesting and giving me a chance to record alive.
Kudos, Zach. Well done. I think you're in for a real challenge today, though.
Absolutely. And bringing in the Torchmaster, Jules.
Can you stop patting yourself on the back? We get it.
He won't ever.
This is the Orca Pod. What am I going to do but pat myself on the back? Come on. Come on. Show me off.
Oh, see, Eden's already talking trash, and I love it.
Yeah, he may be the People's Champion, but we'll see if he's the 12th champion after tonight.
Now, I reckon he will be.
We've got the interview with Luke coming up shortly, but before we do that, let's get into the redemption action. Anything interesting you want to talk about the big showdown with Luke and Mel?
Mel had a disadvantage and still won.
Do you tell what was her disadvantage?
So if you notice the side they had the balls on, so they're both right-handed. She was having to lean over to get her ball because her ball was on her right and Luke's was on his left, and presumably they're using their left hand to load them on. So she had a bit further to go to get them on.
Holding it with your right hand?
They're holding the paddle with their right hand, and they're both loading the ball on with their left. So Luke's ball was right next to him like this. Mel was on that side of her, so she had to lean over to put it on.
This is interesting. I actually would counter that it was better to have to lean over because that keeps your hand stable on the paddle while you do this, whereas this is more likely to pull your paddle to the left.
No, because you can just you don't have to look at your hand. You can just sort of find the ball and then bring it out. You can keep it.
I think I'd rather have the reach over. But needless to say,
they're set up on opposite sides. I'm left-handed, so I would have been fine, but still.
I would have been horrible.
You also don't have breasts to try to lean across.
Yeah.
That's for a woman.
That's a challenge when you're reaching over.
Still, when it comes down to those challenges, there may be some natural benefits or not. But either you can do that shit or you can't. And I can tell you, I cannot. I would fail miserably at that challenge.
Yeah. As soon as Mel got the first one, around the corner, I was like, oh, yeah, it's done.
Yeah. I was actually looking at that. I'm like, that's impossible. I was like, that's impossible.
I was like,
you can't do this. How do you get it around the corner? What the fuck?
Well, obviously Kyle got it around the corner. We all know Kyle can do all these things in his sleep. That's why he shouldn't be the play tester for this stuff, but we know he can do them. But yeah, it was unbelievable the way they were getting around that corner. So it was a great challenge. It was good to see Mel win. Sad to see Luke go, but good to see Mel win.
Yeah, look, I was sad to lose someone off my draft team, but I was still fist pumping when Mel pulled it out.
Especially after such an emotional confessional, and I just was like, I just wanted to reach through the screen and cuddle her.
Well, it's good that she survived, but we'll get our final word from Luke. Do you guys want to say anything before I bring up the interview with Luke?
No, I'm excited to see it.
You want to give a warning here, CK?
No, it's shoulders. It's fine. Luke, to the Orca Pod. Sadly, you got voted off, but we know how much you love to get your kid off. So in the spirit of it, here we are, shirts off. Tell me about the decision just to remove your shirt while wandering around Redemption.
Well, I just kind of wanted to be fun, I guess. I remember going into the show, and you see a little bit in my pre-game sort of interview that, I just wanted to have fun. So they're sort of wanting fun content or whatever. There was another part after the challenge with Kath that all the blocks were stacked on top of each other, and I may have fly kicked them all down. So I was just out at Redemption, just sort of trying to have fun. They want to make it appear as if it's like this, barren, boring hellscape. But I've never been to Perth before. I've never been to wherever we were filming. I was just like, no, let's just have as much fun as we can while we're out here.
You, in your opening video, you described yourself as not smart, but I wouldn't say that's the person that I saw on the screen. You perhaps played a little too hard, but you did definitely seem to have a good read on the game.
Yeah, well, look, I still don't think I'm all that bright. In fact, my name here on Zoom is Rachel because Rachel previously used it before me, and I haven't worked out how to change it yet. But no, I still don't think I'm all that bright. But I do agree that I did play too hard, and there's a few things to that. I remember before the game and in my interviews, when I was doing casting, I remember saying, oh, if I see any returning players, like I'm going to be onto them, and so I see Mel, and Canberra had only had what 2 or 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes
Yeah, I think
released
that's
by the
right.
time that Backyard was filming.
Mhm.
So I had seen Mel's, pre-game interview, and she's a little bit shifty or whatever in that interview. Maybe not in how she actually plays, but that stuck in my mind. And so me and my wife, we are watching, all these Meet the Casting, sort of assessing what do we do with that type of person and that type of person. I remember when we saw Mel, it's like, oh, you could never work with her. She's got to go immediately. That was our assessment. And so it was probably my homework pre-game was what killed me. Is I learned too much about Mel. I had not even really watched that many episodes of Survivor Canberra. Maybe the first 2 episodes. But I sort of that was enough. This preconception of Mel being all this and all that. Oh, she had to go. And so the playing hard thing, that was just like a tunnel vision. It must be Mel. It must be Mel. It must be Mel. No, Zoe and Jess offered me Kath on a silver platter, and I was still going, oh, no, must be Mel.
Oh, you were quite strong on that. You weren't willing to defer to Zoe and Jess. You were pushing your position.
Yeah, I was pushing my position, and in retrospect, if I just let Jess and Zoe, let's just go Kath, Mel probably goes next because Jess and I spoke last week, and I was sort of just running through like what actually happened. And it was a lot of like, yeah, Luke, you were fine. We would have gone, pretty far with you, but you did too much with Kath and Mel and caused a lot of chaos, and we just couldn't go further because
it was chaos.
Too much chaos. Yeah.
You were seeming non-flexible, like if
Yeah.
you were digging in and saying this had to be the vote. But I agree with you, without even speaking to these other people. If they do vote out Kath, and then you do lose another challenge, well, then maybe they are thinking that, you are going to be more of an asset in the next challenge versus Mel. Whereas when they were making that decision between Kath and Mel, I don't think the challenge was really a factor. I think they were equally matched.
Yeah, look, I think, Jess and Zoe and myself, we had a good vibe together. And I remember speaking to Zoe after the game, and I was like, why'd you vote me out? And she said, just couldn't. We felt like we couldn't mold you, sort of. You're very inflexible. So I think, even if I'd sucked at challenges, I feel like we still would have had a good thing. I was just too crazy, too stubborn, tunnel vision. That's what did it.
That's
we would have
fascinating that you were watching these Meet the Cast from a recent season that come out and strategizing how you would deal with the particular players. That's I've not heard of someone doing that before. That's a really interesting way of preparing for a game.
Well, it killed me, didn't it?
Well, only because it was the pre-existing person that you got tunnel vision on. You also knew Tara, did you not? Or knew of Tara's game?
Yep, knew of Tara's. I made the mistake because that was it when we're all together before the puzzle. Everyone's finding puzzle pieces. I was marooned right next to Tara, and so we just ended up having a yarn. Everyone else is finding puzzle pieces. We're just chatting. I was definitely like, if I had been on the same tribe as Tara, I would have been. It would have been a weird one because I got on pretty quickly with Tara. But at the same time, it was sort of like, how far can I trust her? How far, So, again, that sort of pre-existing tunnel vision easily could have bit me in the butt if you replace Mel with Tara, it probably could have been the same thing.
Yes, I see. One thing you managed to do, though, was play an instrumental part in getting poor little Tommy voted out when you absolutely slammed the discussions down. Tommy mentioned that people were talking about DC to you. You immediately flip around to DC and say, he said your name, like Tommy's trying to actively target the guy. What was the thinking there? Just causing a little chaos? What was the plan?
Well, Tommy's name was already big in the discussion. It was pretty obvious that it was going to be him. So I thought, well, he's told me this information. Let's try and use it to benefit me in some way. And, I looked at DC as being someone, if he was on my tribe, I wouldn't mind having gone because, all we had was first impressions, and he sort of stuck out as being different. It was quite a young group, and he stuck out as being older. And so it's sort of like my thinking was, let's keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. So it's like, hey, let's show DC that I'm willing to work with him, all that kind of stuff. Because at some point, I want to give him the boot.
Yeah,
and I want him to not see it coming.
Yes. Well, I see. You told me it was already done. I get it. That's smart play.
Yeah.
That's a very smart play. There was other smart play, but I can see how the tunnel vision on Mel, based on these predisposed ideas, ended your game prematurely. But you then did go to redemption and get on a bit of a winning streak. I understand that it took you and Tommy a long time to complete that puzzle, but the edit made you look smart, so that was something that you can credit for. And then you did the Luigi jump that then got turned into a backyard meme, which was very fun. Did you see that?
Hang on. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here.
Did you see the little Luigi thing they did?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I was just like, I really didn't want to be first boot. That was the big thing. And so to win that first challenge, yes, I'm not first boot. You notice after the other challenges, I'm very subdued. All I cared about at that point was damage limitation. Let's at least not be the first boot.
You said they're subdued, but you told me that you fly kicked the pole that we didn't actually see in the edit.
Well, that was because I remember I looked at the camera, that person following with the camera, guys. You want some fun content, do you? All right, let's go. So that was just for fun, really. That wasn't like a celebration of kicking down everything.
You were very smart in the way you played that. I don't know if you tuned in last week, but I think you got away with a little shifty move there. What you can get away with, you can get away with. But the way you played it at the end, you stacked and then watched Kath's pile and, okay, she put one on, you're going to put another one on now. And you were sort of playing the strategy there of hoping her tower would fall over, I felt, which I thought was smart.
No, it wasn't quite. It was just stacking as much as I could, although I was always making sure after I stacked, I would look side to side to see how much it may have been leaning. And that probably saved it from falling later on. But I was just trying to stack as fast as I could, and it just happened to be a tie there. So it wasn't a case of me, you overestimated me.
I felt in the 1 minute you sort of stacked up and then held.
I once Cath's fell, there was no point of doing. I felt like if I had put on more, it easily could have fallen down, and that would have been a disaster. So just leave it. Let Kath. She didn't have the time to restack it.
How do you feel about the final challenge? I looked at something like that, and I would never get that in a million years. That last one you had to do.
Look, I was doing okay. It just didn't sort of happen in the end. I feel like if I did it again, I could do it a lot better.
Did you get 2 or 3 in the end?
I think it was
the first 2 were easy.
Yeah, the first 2 were easy. Yeah. Look, it just didn't happen. There's sort of that frustration of getting that 4th one around. But Mel did well. Credit to Mel. There's no hard feelings at all there. But it was a lot of fun to be a redemption. Obviously, I would prefer not to be a redemption, but there's just it was all right. I was kind of nice to prove to myself that I had some sort of challenge, prowess.
Well, of course, you were, when they were talking about in the very first voting out the strong men, you were looking around going, who are they talking about here? Who are actually the strong men? And then instead of, showing the guns, you were stuck out your stomach to try and make it look like you focus on this, not these. Was that
okay. Again, here you are. You overestimate my strategic abilities. I was just I was pointing at myself, pointing at the time, going, hey, what about me? That was my thinking.
Yeah, but I'm not a strong guy.
Was it Kate or Tara? I think it was Tara going, I don't really see any physical players. Going, hello, I'm physical.
You don't want to be seen as physical. They were targeting the physical guys.
Yeah, well, look, I do remember pre-game, you have all these things. I know Tony Velachos, he always talks about, you got to be lower than people and things like this. It's lucky that I'm just naturally shorter. I'm only 5'7". Okay. So I was actually shorter than quite a few people. But I wasn't trying to sort of present myself as being a physical player. Yeah. So, the tummy was sticking out a bit more than it might have. And I was trying to slouch over a bit more than I might have.
It's strategic. See,
but it didn't work.
There's a bit there. There's a lot there. I wanted to say thank you for coming on. Obviously, a bit sucky to go out as early as you did, but obviously, in that short time, you provided a lot of content. You're a big character, and that's what these games need in the early phase. People that play hard, are big players, big characters who pop on the screen and keep it interesting in the early phases before you get into the real nitty gritty. So, look, obviously, I would love to see you go further with how hard you were playing, but what you were there and what you were there for gave us, I think, a lot of really enjoyable content. So I commend you for that.
Yeah, look, I think, if/when I play again, I'll be a lot more dynamic. So, don't be so tunnel visioned. Probably don't play as crazy. I mean, there's a million things that I will do differently next time you see me. And you will see
if we do see you. But certainly everyone that's ever played a second time is certainly a lot better. So if we do get a chance to see you again, it'll be great to see if you can learn from some of these mistakes. But thank you for coming on, and thank you for
one thing before we go, I have blessing from a few of the people on the cast to say that your analysis is a little off sometimes. So, and I watched episode 2. That's when I get booted, and I'll be honest, I had to turn it off because I was like, oh, they're so inaccurate, and that's why I called up Jess to be like, hey, what actually happened? Because I had this vision in my head of what actually happened, but then I listened to your analysis and I'm second guessing. But then I spoke to Jess. She said, nah, everything you're thinking was fine, whatever. So,
yeah, Jess is just being nice to you, mate. Like, I've got the real deal. I'm interpreting it correctly. She's just want to hurt your feelings, mate. Like, at the end of the day, all I can do is interpret what I see on the screen. I can only interpret the edit. And I'm not always right, but
but I have the blessing of some of my fellow contestants, who I will not name, to say your analysis at times is off, which is understandable because you don't have all the information, which is fine. We love it. We love the podcast.
I construct my own narrative, and that's the truth. My narrative is the truth. Thank you for coming on, and we wish you all the best.
All right, lovely. Thank you.
Wow, taken down a peg.
What?
The first criticism I feel like about us as analysts.
No, that was just for CK. That wasn't us. It was only CK.
Look, I'll be the first to admit that I implant a lot of strategy on these players.
You do that a lot.
And you know what? It just makes them seem like better players. So they all should be complimenting me.
Yeah. Don't have any issue with that.
Look, I have to say, if we base it on my draft predictions, I'm not a very good player at all. I really don't know anything else in there.
I sort of looked back at our Canberra draft versus this draft, and if our draft order is like our predicted boot order, Canberra, we had an average. I did the math because I was really bored. We had an average of like 4 positions away from their actual placement. We did really well. We're already fucked on that here.
Well, that's because I picked so badly. But, it's because I'm just too nice. Anyway, I'm just such a nice guy. I think that's what we all know. And I like to pick these people that no one else is picking. But they end up not being very good, apparently. So maybe next time I'll just pick the guns. But I still have my King Mark kicking along. So that's something very sad to lose some of the boots we had this week. As we get into this week's coverage, now we could spin a wheel where we start our coverage. Where would you like to start the coverage today, ladies?
What do I say every time there's a swap? And they did it again
from the beginning.
No, but every time there's a swap and they do what they did in this episode, what is my criticism every single time?
They change the shirts.
They change the shirts. I know who's who because I watched every episode twice and I take notes. But most people don't. Leave them in their original shirts and then we don't have to do the thing at tribal. Oh, who was from this tribe? You can tell because they're wearing fucking pink. I'm sick of it.
I think you should accept that this is a production decision that many of these productions make.
And I disagree with it. I will continue disagreeing with it.
You can make your own decision about how the contestants are dressed in these circumstances.
And I will.
Look, they should all do what Keegan did for you and put the yellow singlet over there.
I appreciated that.
That's what you all need to bring 2 pieces of clothing, each that could go on top of the other, depending in the order that you get put in particular tribes.
Anyway, I've said what I need to say about that. We can go anywhere else you guys want now. Also, I'd like to apologize. My cat is never affectionate with me until podcast nights, and then she wants to be my best friend. So.
He didn't only like that because he had a second shirt that he wanted to show off.
He wanted to wear his second shirt.
Yeah.
If I was on a black tribe, I'd probably want to wear the other color as well.
Let's just start at the start because we've got
Yes.
new dynamics with these swap tribes. And who do we go to first?
Orange.
Yeah, we're open on orange. Like we go to them first. Let's go there.
And Jess and Zoe are now not matching. Zoe has clearly got the exact same shirt, just in orange. Jess has a slightly different one. But it's these two are the queen bees, and the other two are fighting.
I like the efficiency of just having the same shirt in separate colours.
That's what I would done.
Actually, I think that's what I did do for Melbourne 4. I had the exact same shirt in 2 different colours.
It's utilitarian efficiency that we get. Like this is Andrew would be proud of this. Andrew from Exile would love the utilitarian efficiency of Zoe's costume attire, as opposed to basically having a variety of shirts that you want to wear. That way, it doesn't impact your decision. Like how Eden wanted to swap so he could change his shirt. DC is saying here that he wants to get out of his pink shirt. That's why he
hates the pink.
That's why he wrote swap on his little boat there. You know, you're not making decisions based on your outfits. Smart.
But yeah, so that orange tribe, it's very clearly it's Jess and Zoe. They're at the top, and Tara and Jacob Jacob are fighting for who's going to be third.
Yes,
which I think
100%.
that was going to be fairly obvious.
Yes.
We had some very interesting discussion about the extra vote, which. Quite ironically, everyone on this tribe knows Tara has, because the 3 that were there were Jess, Jacob, and Tara. They all know the outcome. They know that Tara has the extra vote. They know Jacob has lost his vote, and then they're considering.
They didn't know that Jacob had lost his vote. They seemed to think that it was just for the first tribal, not the first tribal he goes to.
No, Tara knew. Jacob didn't.
Jacob misunderstood.
Tara knew. Tara was like,
you didn't want to be like, dude, you're wrong.
Yeah. Jacob was like, no, it's not. It was just the first trouble ever. I was like, no.
They were doing some fun stuff with the graphics in this episode, and that was the first one where it went from like, I'm like, why does it say he doesn't have a vote? And then like it pops up, no vote.
Yeah.
When he finally,
I love the fun they have. And like the first confessional for each person was their original color, and then it morphed into the new color. And like when the people have got the beware advantage and the scroll like just disappears away, like very well done from that side of things.
Very, very.
If they insist on the shirts, would you be happy with a formally blue or something under their brackets, under their name?
No, that would just be confusing. Just leave them in their original shirt. The buff is all you need to tell what tribe they're on now.
Not everyone wears their buff in such an obvious, overt place.
Well, they should.
Some people wear them on the wrist. The wrist is like basically useless.
Unless you're like me and you just talk with your hands, and it's when the Italian comes out and stuff.
I was gonna say, isn't that just you speaking Italian?
Yeah, exactly.
So Jacob becomes aware that he does not have a vote.
Well, that's more that's later on, but it was just
the back end.
But yeah, Tara's telling Jess, that Tara and Jess go off to the well, and Tara's like, "Hey, I've heard this rumor that I've got an idol. I do not have an idol." And she basically says, Mark has it. Absolutely. Because this is how it worked. This is what it was. Mark has the idol for sure. And then who turns up at the well is Mark and Haley.
We our first crossover. Yay!
We had so much discussion about this last week and what was the actual dynamic of this twist. And it was good to see it eventuate at last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish it was different people, because like obviously like Haley's not going to talk to Tara anything strategy. Like I kind of wish it was different people in that moment so you could get a bit more strat. And I wish that the swaps had been a little more swappy. It wasn't so like 2 tribe heavy on 2 tribes, so that makes it even harder. But I was excited to see the first crossover.
Yeah. And so we get the Tara's mouthing to Mark, like, have you got the idol? He's just like, yeah, it's right here.
Which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen those things be hidden in wrist buffs before. Like,
sometimes they're like small little bracelets, but I do like if they are small and are able to be hidden in a wrist buff, then I actually see that as a valid reason to do the wrist buff. It's actually a great place.
Absolutely. I think it's great. I just have never thought of that as
I chose my clothing based on the ability to hide stuff. I wore pants with big pockets. My rain jacket had a big ass pocket on the inside. Like I was set for having like I could have had 100 idols and I would have been set.
Sure, that sounds very creative, but I like more creative. I like that makes it very like practical, but I like more creative stuff. I like this buff hidden idol. I like Pauline's skirt with the shorts underneath and the pockets, and of course Michael's cricket underwear where he could slip things into where the box would go. Is
I
probably
saw that
number
this
one.
week.
Yeah, I did it too in my.
Nothing will ever beat Kelly's hair idol in season 39.
Yeah, but I'm talking about LRG.
I know, but I'm just saying that was next level.
Okay, anyway, so Mark's King. Well, I want to say Tara plays this correctly because there is no value in people thinking you have an idol. You don't have when there's the possibility of split votes. Ooh, maybe I'm thinking about this
in a 4-person tribe. It's not terrible.
Yeah, because the split isn't so available. So maybe it's better that they think she actually has the idol. Can't really split on her and Jacob.
Yes, but I think she played this. I think Tara played this flawlessly. She's not going to get the Orca this week in my mind, but I think she would get the MVP. She did the best job this episode, I think, out of anyone. She saved herself, not just for this episode, but for long term. I mean, I think there's nothing that can be done if they go back to another tribal. Jess and Zoe are sticking together 100%. But I think she's kept that option open to work with Green at the merge.
Doesn't she have the extra vote?
She does, but it'll still be. It'll
tie.
Depends
how you play extra vote rules. Are you playing 47 rules? Are you playing?
This was filmed pre-47. We're not getting into that again.
I stand by.
Yeah, Eddie agrees with me. Tara gave me the chills with how good she was.
Oh, she was elite, and she saved the extra vote.
Yeah,
could be used.
Not to skip ahead too much, but I think that Zoe made the wrong call in keeping Tara. I think it was the right call for Jess, but not for Zoe. But anyway, we'll get into that.
I think Mark also confirming to Tara that he has the idol because he wants to work with Tara is fascinating, and I really want to see these two together. That's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully Tara
I think it's also good that he confirmed it to her because if he denies it, she will push even harder to say, no, I'm telling you, Mark has it. With him acknowledging it, she's probably not going to push too hard.
No, I completely agree. She kind of almost becomes less of a target because she's like, well, at least he was honest. Whereas when you actively know they're lying, you're just like out for blood.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, there's no trust, so get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Time travel back to the 90s and get wrecked. All right,
get wrecked. We know I love an old school saying. I have young children. I got to resort to like friendly threats.
Kyle saying episode title.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked. Yeah.
I mean,
I think young kids is more saying things like Sigma and Skibbity.
I don't understand that.
Skibbity Sigma. That's what the young kids are into.
What the fuck does that mean?
Isn't it Skibbity toilet?
Yeah, it's the Skibbity toilet.
I'm 100 at this point, okay?
Gotta get kids that keep you young. Well, what happens next, Jules?
Well, there's a little bit of Tara immediately throwing Jacob under the bus. And I think there's an interesting discussion there of like the oranges all voted to stay and the pinks all voted to swap. So they're like, oh, surely that means that Tara is more willing to work with her. She didn't want to stay with her tribe, whereas the oranges, they are really tight. So I think this was a really good decision for them to all stay swap and then to bring it up there. So
agreed.
Yeah, I really like that. That's everything that sort of happened in the orange pre the challenge. Has anyone got anyone else before the challenge? No. So then we go to pink. And I'm going to call it out right now. My vote for Orca of the episode is going to be Kate because of just everything she does in this episode. And it's right from the beginning.
It was all completely unnecessary.
It was, and that's what makes it Orca.
Like, poor Altus, who we've discussed, is probably not the most strategic player. And that's just who he is. That's the game he wants to play. Is coming hat in hand, thinking Kate's the person that he can work with. Obviously, he wants to get his vote back, so he passes on the scroll as quickly as he can. Makes absolute sense. And the fact that she looks just completely dog him on the situation is outrageous. It's for DC and David, who she didn't even want to work with.
And so we get he gives her the clue. We get this whole like hilarious montage of them not knowing which direction. And then the wrong direction leads her to the beware advantage. That's not what the clue was for.
Now, I've been called by certain people that have come onto this show, as in 30 minutes ago, as having bad takes.
Okay, yes, my call last week was wrong.
I absolutely said there were these beware advantages in every bloody camp, and now we're in this merry-go-round of passing them with no one finding the idols. But there are 4 idols out there to be found, one already in someone's possession.
Okay. Yep. I'll concede that one. But when Kate
Suck on that, Luke.
All right. This is going to go all season now. When CK gets things right, he is going to say, "Fuck you, Luke."
Zach is saying Kate or Altus would definitely be my vote for Orca. Altus just for confronting for Kate to her face. Yeah, no, it's Kate for me. But so when she's opening the beware range, I was yelling at my phone for her to actually open it and look at it.
Yes.
Assuming what it was, she was going to need to go to the challenge and hand them off. And she had an ally on either side. Like, essentially, her number 1 and number 2 have gone to different tribes. She could have been helping Tara and Takan get an idol. Takan probably knows which way north, south, east, and west is.
Why do you think they were struggling so much with that?
Where I am right now, I know which direction it is. But if you plot me somewhere I don't know, I'm probably going to struggle.
I can never tell you.
I know the sun sets in the west, but that's sort of, I don't know.
You have to be able to guess the time. How good are you at guessing the time?
Terrible.
Yeah, well, then you're stuffed, basically. Because you can't guess the time, you can't work out where the sun is, and therefore, where.
Yeah, I'm like so many of the girls in this, like, I think it's like
if you know where the sun is, it's easy.
Megan in this episode, I'm like, I don't know what way is what.
Didn't DC scale from a mountain?
We were in a campground with heaps of trees, so we couldn't see the sky and didn't know the time. Will you go away?
Didn't DC scale some sort of mountain? Of course he knows which way, the sun is.
DC was on the summit.
Yeah, I didn't watch that, but I assume that involved knowing the direction.
Yeah, he would have known. That's the person you give me
useful
found in about 2 seconds.
I would know where north, south, and west is. I think it's the older you are, you have these skills. These are the skills the youth today don't have anymore.
So 5 seconds ago, I was 100. Now I'm a child. Like, I just...
Yeah, Megan has directions are hard.
Yeah. But yeah, look, like I said, I was screaming at my phone for her to open it. She doesn't open it until later. Oh, well. But that's really all we get from Pink at this point.
Can we talk about the coach has a confessional here talking about Kate.
Yes.
And it's the weirdest thing he says. Kate is the ultimate wild card because she is good at puzzles.
Yeah.
I was like, what? How does that sentence make sense? I mean, I'm picking on coach at this point. I know that. I can't. But I'm just like...
I think the reason I don't have notes about it is because I was confused.
Yeah, I literally read down. I was like...
Be a bad thing, but then he's giving her compliments.
But I can get that she's a wild card player, but because she's good at puzzles, that the whole reasoning doesn't...
Like 2 separate thoughts that he combined.
100% just combined, and it's confused me.
Coach is dealing with a changing dynamic in his approach to the game now. Mm-hmm. When he was in the Pink tribe, and they were all the original Pink tribe, that was his team, and he was willing to lay down on his sword for them if need be. He talked about potentially them going to redemption, very honest, very upfront. Now he's all like, now it's our team of myself, Kate, and DC, and we need to annihilate this interloper Altus who's invading our team. So he does have this team mentality, but now he has an opponent for the team.
Yeah.
So now he's changing his style a little bit, and I think that means that if he does make it to any sort of merge, he's going to be very Pink strong, OG Pink strong, and not with any interest to flip or to change.
Yeah, and I think Pinks are now going to have a massive target on their back. Not one of them has been voted out, and I think we don't know. I assume we're merging next episode. Don't know for sure, but assuming that we are.
How many are we down to?
There's 10 there's 10 now. And then, so assuming someone comes back, well, someone will come back, but assuming one person, that'll be 11. I don't know. If we're merging next, my point is there's going to be 5 Pinks and before someone comes back, 5 of the other 2 combined. So assuming they can pick up whoever comes back, I think the Pinks are fucked.
I think the Pinks are going to completely fracture though. Like they were never actually united.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
They'll be selling each other.
This is literally the Philippines.
Yeah.
This is the season that we are watching. It's not One World, it's the Philippines. And I'm here for it because that's a better season anyway.
Yeah. No one likes One World except for the winner.
The question is, Jess and Zoe, which one's Malcolm, which one's Denise? We'll have to ask John.
John could write you an essay on which one's Denise. Trust me.
But I'm here for it. I'm here for those 2 coming in at merge and just running the game.
Love it. Love it, love it.
Yeah.
My top pick and the People's Champion.
Yeah. We want to see the People's Champion.
As your top pick, that was a good pick.
Let's go to the
green.
You say green? It's the last remaining tribe.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's not a whole lot here other than Haley making it very, very clear in her confessional that she's orange strong and everyone else doing it in person. Mark can barely even look to Khan in the eyes when he's talking to him. It's bad. It's like, oh yeah, what was the dynamic on your tribe?
It's sort of interesting that Mark's doing that because Mark is a very good liar, as we know. So why is he feeling the need to, not look to Khan in the eyes when he makes these?
Well, he goes from that to very intense eye contact. So he goes from one extreme to the other. So I think he was not meaning to get like what you were doing right now.
I thought Haley was with the eye contact this time. She was kind of like, "How willing are you to flip?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, Haley was the hard word." I was like, "Shit."
I think to Khan's
so intimidated in that situation. Like, yeah, sure, I'll flip.
Yeah, of course I would flip. He knows he's done. He knows he's done if they don't go to if they go to tribal council. His whole confessionals here was just I just saw Maddie P on my screen. I was just like,
yes.
It was just Maddie P energy all over the place. I was just like, I've already compared them before. I know this, but this whole confessional sequence, I was just like, it was Maddie P incarnate.
Yeah, no, pre-season I was comparing him to Sam Green. It was the wrong Sydney cast member.
Maddie P.
Yeah.
And just like Maddie P, he's going to be in a lot of trouble in the merge because everyone's going, oh, Khan's so nice. Like everyone want to vote for him at the end.
They'll keep him around and then they'll get to like final 6, final 7. They'll be like, shit, he needs to go.
The difference between him and Maddie P is Maddie P had been involved in a lot of the gameplay as well. So he was not just a very nice person, but also had the strategic resume to back it up. Khan, to date, has not really done anything. And that's not his fault. His tribe never went to tribal council. He's the only person who's only been to one tribal council.
Yeah. Oh, no, the rest of his tribe, his new tribe, none of them have been.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry.
He does pitch to Megan about making a move. And we see, I don't know if this was just her saying something for the camera or if she was having some genuine thoughts. She's talking about, well, this will give me connections to the pink and I've got connections to orange. And then we see her once again talk about her connection to Jess. Something I've noticed, we saw it in the beginning of the first episode, those 2 were locked in. Since then, we've seen Megan talk about it a lot. We have not seen it from Jess.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like this is very much in Megan's head. They are ride or die. They are number one. When they get back together, they're going to be it. And Jess is on to bigger and better things. And I think her and Zoe are now much tighter than she could ever be with Megan.
I don't think Jess had a chance to think about Megan.
No.
Doesn't mean she hasn't had a chance to think about who the fuck's on the other tribe. She's just like, I've been fucked here. Let me focus here. Like, she had no chance to think about that as a connection.
You're spot on. Megan and the rest of that formerly orange tribe have spent the last hours just playing the game in their head about who they're going to play with and what their plan is. And maybe we should vote out as actually, let's turn on Mark. All these like nonsense plans they're all coming up with without even actually playing the game. And Megan's, me and Jess will be back. Now, of course, Jess is going to, if Megan comes up to Jess and is like, we're back together, let's do some damage. Obviously, Jess is going to jump on that. But in terms of loyalty, of course her and Zoe are closer. They've been through the crucible together. They are locked in. There's nothing breaking that. So it was a choice between Zoe.
They're trauma bonded.
Yeah.
Exactly. Trauma bond is real, people. Trauma bonding is real.
You made the right call, so you won't receive some negative fan mail for that one, Dani.
Thank you.
I'll see. All we're getting is support for Dani.
You've missed me. You've missed me on my correct hot takes. No, Jess has been.
What am I?
fucking
Chopped liver.
yeah.
Jesus. But anyway, that's okay. All right. Anything else before we get to the challenge?
No.
What did we think of the challenge? This twist on idle hands.
Loved it.
Super.
I'm going to
interesting.
disagree. I
Love the
prefer
three-way.
two people.
Love the three-way.
We got less of that awesome move where someone throws it up and knocks it down.
This was I've never seen it before. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
And the fact that DC clearly gave both of his points to Green to make sure Takan was safe.
Smart.
Yeah. In the first round, he went straight. Him and Jacob faced off, and Mark just sat there. And was like, "Oh, okay." And then DC went again the last one and did the same thing. Focused on getting Jess's down, and then here Takan knock mine off.
Which was the round where two people clearly went against the third.
I've only got the matchups. I don't have much detail about what happened in each one.
There was one round, I'm sure the chat will tell me where, and the person who was being targeted expressly said that. It said, they're coming for me. Like,
I think that was the last time with Jess.
They just beelined at them and took them out.
I think it was Jess, but I think it was Jess's first one.
Which was against Coach and Megan then.
Yeah.
Against who, Megan? David?
Coach, yeah.
Coach, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I really liked the whole thing. I thought it was a really.
I like this challenge in general. I just think, and I still liked it here. I just think the three people didn't improve it.
I just thought it was super interesting, like because then you just you have to think about it so differently. Because in a normal, you have to folk you kind of hone in. Whereas this, you're like, oh fuck, I've got to
see them all oh shit. All right,
yeah, it just changes the strategy of it, which is super interesting.
There was more strategy in the competition because you had to watch your back, and there was more strategy in your ability to assist people that used to be on your tribe. So for someone who likes strategy, Jules, I would have thought you would have felt this was an improvement on a challenge that you don't, you're not particularly a challenge lover.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I will say the fact that it was two tribes going to tribal, if it was only one tribe, we would have seen two tribes gang up on the other. If this was pre-swap, it would have been everyone ganging up on pink.
Yes.
Yes. No, it was perfect.
And so the fact that you can't just have there's one person that wins each round. I think it was very interesting.
Once again, production have made a fantastic decision to change up a traditional challenge at the perfect time to get the perfect outcomes and make it really interesting and enhance the game.
100%.
Yeah. So ultimately we get Green winning, which I think that and DC said in his confessional later that he was happy about it, but to me he definitely threw both of his points to Green.
Yeah, look, I didn't notice that, but you pointed it out. I'm sure it happened. There's absolutely no reason.
It was more noticeable the first time because he kind of ignored Mark. He went straight to Jacob to knock his down. So, of course, Jacob is going to knock his, and Mark can just sit there and chill.
And don't forget that from...
I'm spot on, yes.
Yeah, so don't forget that Takan is DC's number one.
Absolutely. And he knows that he's fine.
Yeah, DC's fine. He's got the loyalist of loyal to a tribe of all time in Coach. And Kate should be loyal, or if not, they could even bring in after. Whatever, he's in a fine position, right?
He's not going anywhere.
Takan is absolutely dead in the water if they go to tribal. No question. He's got no advantages that can help him. That piece of paper that he found is not going to be a benefit. By the way, I think, though, there has to be another episode, right? Well, it depends when the merge is, because when are these expiring idols or the legacy advantage? Wasn't it the last...
advantage is the first tribal of day 2.
So Mark's idol was the last...
Can only be played on day 1.
Day 1. So that makes me feel like we would have had more discussion about Mark's expiring idol from Mark.
But he didn't go to tribal.
I know, but he could have handed it off to someone. Could have handed it off
Mark's not handing off an idol unless he is absolutely certain it's the last one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like if he knew it was the last one,
he would have. It's gotten pretty dark at this point. So I think there's probably not many
Well, I just watched the equivalent episode of season 4, and we got another one to go there. And they're way in the dark. They're way in the
dark there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so after the challenge, we go to Orange. We see Zoe is leaning more towards keeping Jacob. Now, I mentioned this before that I think we're probably going to talk about Jess and Zoe as one entity, but I think Zoe's best option is to vote out Tara. Jess's best option is to vote out Jacob.
Yes.
Which, and I think we saw a confession from Tara where she's saying that in her mind, Jess has more power of that duo. And we saw that play out.
We see her talk about it with Jacob. They talk about the two of them and who's more strategic and who would be best keeping if they were to team up.
Yeah.
And I definitely see Jess as the front man of that duo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think anyone would see that.
Yeah.
Zoe's doing a very good job of just letting things go. I agree with you that this was the worst outcome for Zoe, but Zoe's whole game is to not push these outcomes because they don't they're perhaps small differences impacts the way it impacts her game. So if she starts pushing over the top, if she gets her way, then she becomes the more perhaps more threatening of the duo. When ultimately Jess is going to ultimately the time comes to break them up, Jess is going to get the target, not Zoe.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So
are you once again giving and down strategy on someone that just isn't there? Do you think this is intentional by Zoe, or it's just what's happening?
I think that this is just her vibe. I don't think
she's just
going to be outwardly strategic. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's
there might be a general mindset of wanting to be in the back a little bit or something, but I think that's just generally her style.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to the first episode where her and Jess, their bond started forming and they were paired up in the challenge, and then they got to the bit where you had to make the poll, and Jess is like, should we go to a different one? Should we go to the same one? And so I was like, whatever, I don't care. I don't think that's her vibe. I don't think that was the strategy, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And same with the vote out thing for the idol, and she's like, I'm gonna forget one of these people out, whatever.
She didn't even use it.
Mark's putting the crosshairs on Tommy as hard as he can. It's a completely different style, and that's just always her style.
And Tara does the perfect middle thing. I think it's Tommy, but I've heard else as a name, so let me circle that one just in case.
Mark's in the bushes, with his sniper.
Yeah. And then here is where we see Tara's just absolutely played this to perfection. Straight up with Jess, hey, I've got this extra vote. Do you want me to play it? Do you not want it in the game? I will play it and I'll vote for Jacob and then it's out of the game. Or do you want to keep it and have us use it? And Jess's instant thought is, get rid of it. I don't want it in the game, which gives Tara a bit of pause, but she's like, well, at least Jess is being straight up with me. And then she says to her, I will give it to you if I make the merge. And that's a pretty tempting offer.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Yeah.
Because it's not if I get through this tribal, if I get to merge.
Yeah. So you got to keep me for at least, however many more that we come to. Yeah.
Which, I think it's absolutely brilliant. But then she hedges her bets. She goes over to Jacob and is like, well, do you want to do something? Why are we letting these two call the shots? But then realizes Jacob doesn't have a vote. She absolutely can't do that.
Do you think that if Jacob had a vote, she might have been more interested in using her extra vote to take control here?
I don't think so.
Because isn't that a better play? She is in danger next trouble, if there is another trouble.
I think it is a better play, but in the short term. But again, I think she trusts Jess and Zoe more than she trusts Jacob.
I get it, but I think if Jacob had an extra vote, Tara would partner with him because it is the better move for the next one. But
Tara doesn't think about what's just happening in front of her. Tara is thinking about all the way to the end. And I think the main reason this is a good decision for her is when she eventually gets back with her pinks, she can pull in Jess and Zoe as numbers versus Jacob, who's got his own numbers.
Yeah, but with Jacob, they could have pulled in Jess's bestie, Megan, and they'd have a great little force.
They don't know that they're besties, though. They don't know this.
I'm just saying. I'm making a joke back to the other thing.
I know. They don't know.
Only Megan thinks they're besties in her head.
Yeah.
Tara was the third member of their Braid Alliance, don't forget.
Yeah.
This is true. There is the Braid Alliance. Yeah, just Tara run the rings here. So subtle about it too. There's this it kind of almost like you're reading that against her as like, oh, she's like a little desperate, like kind of desperate here. You don't really see the strategy behind it because she just plays it so well. Like it's just like bravo, well done.
And just her choice of language is also like, would you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, what would you like to do?
Like but it's not even as it's more subtle than that by saying what would make you like, would you feel more comfortable? So it's like, I'm not just going to do what you tell me to do, but I want you to be happy. So it's not desperate. It's just
Yeah, I think
Jess says I wouldn't say it's subtle. Lol, she was scary good. All right, well. Sorry for having a little Tara fan club here.
Tara was actually in this, and to be honest, she's got the right players in someone like Jess, who wants to be playing strategically. I think that's really where Jess wants to be, and she sees the value in someone like Tara there, someone she can bounce ideas off of, and someone who is going to be more threatening than her at Merge. This wouldn't have worked. I don't care how persuasive Tara is on Hayley. Hayley's just like, no. She's had the right people who are willing to listen and engage.
This is 100%.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't have worked on.
Oh yeah, a lot of people this would not have worked on.
Yeah,
it was a masterclass though, and I think it's a masterclass you get from having played before, having then had the opportunity to watch that back, having played orgs and other things having
crewed a lot of seasons as well.
There's a lot of experience here that's coming into Flora. But the thing is, I can't see Tara doing any better than she did in her first go round because she's just going to roll into Merge with an incredible target in her back and eventually get voted off when she doesn't have immunity.
Well, I mean, Hayley has a hard on for it as is, and now that Jacob's gone, she's like the world is ending for Hayley. Yeah. Like when this outcome is seen at the next challenge. I want the camera to be solely on Hayley for that.
Well, the previously on, she goes to the summit and learns about it because you see her coming back to green, going, Altus and Jacob were voted out, and there's gonna be steam coming out of her ears.
Yeah. This is like if her at Merge, this is Tara v Hayley.
Like hell hath no fury like Hayley.
Things are looking great for Takan. He's like their new Betty. Come to us, Takan. Join.
Suddenly he's a number.
And we go for DC as well. He'll be able to roll into that crew as well, and he's looking for a home. So that will be really interesting. Though I think Mark will be wanting to do something more interesting than roll on with the oranges.
Well, I'm really hoping it's not as simple as pink versus orange. I'm hoping it's a very fluid merge, and I think it's very fluid.
Mark wants to work with Tara. Clearly, like there's more interesting stuff at foot with very players that won't be prepared to take a back seat, that will want to control that merge, that will make it very, very interesting.
I think
the one world twist start is going to be a factor there as well.
Yeah, I think the one world twist has been a fantastic addition because it really has created these early relationships that I think only would really work in an LRG where it's short term because that was a short period of time, and if you did, for that to be effective, say as they did in Palau, it wasn't effective. They spent one night and then the tribes got made, so there was no relationships built there that then carried over into the game because obviously you spend a week with someone who cares about the one night you had. But here, that first round would be perhaps longer than a lot of the other rounds, given just the vibe of it. And the fact is that those relationships that were built there, for a lot of people, they really matter. For others, not so much. And
they were tested by going to a tribal council.
Yes.
Which, I mean, in my mind, that was an absolute nightmare having 16 people in a tribal. But I think it set us up for a really good merge game, hopefully.
And I think the only person who's going to be stuck in their OG colour strong is Coach.
Yeah, everyone else is going to be
everybody else is going to be looking to make moves.
Yeah.
Like they might have like one or two people or maybe one that they're bringing from their OG, but they're not sticking like hardcore as a tribe strong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jeff and Zoe are going to be.
I mean, but that's trauma bond. That's different. And again, that's one person.
Bond.
But that's also, again, like one person. It's not, that's all that's
Yeah,
the
no,
tribe.
that's not a tribe anymore.
That's not a tribe. That's trauma.
And no one's going to be threatened by that immediately.
No.
Down the line, if they're both still there, that's going to be.
Yes. People are going to want them. They're going to be popular at Merge because people are going to want them to join their pack.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the Orange Tribe now.
That was the Orange Tribe.
Sorry.
Do you want to go straight to Tribal and then we'll do the whole pink thing?
No, I don't care about Tribal. Sure, Tribal.
Well, no, hang on. Then we just talked about Orange and their strategy. Then so now we'll go to pink.
Yeah.
So we get DC and Coach just sort of saying, Zach, that's not a tribe, it's trauma. Isn't it?
I have got all the episode titles today.
We're great. So we've got DC and Coach just being like, well, yeah, we're going to vote Altus. Like, no big deal.
Yeah.
And then Kate she's keeping Altus comfortable, making sure that he's not going to play a shot in the dark. But she's, again, doing too much. She's being very Orca about it.
What do you think about Altus?
Overtime to try to get a strategy out of him, and he's just like,
what do you think about Altus confronting her about, hey, we were working together and you found something?
I don't think it was smart. I think he needed to go back and sow those seeds with the boys first before that happened.
But they're not going to believe him.
No, I know, but it just you start that, and then you can do the like. I just don't think it was smart to confront her straight up.
I think the minute he worked out that she had lied to him, he was going to vote for her anyway. And so why not confront her? And then he's got something concrete to take back to the other two.
He'd still have the Beware paperwork. He would have something concrete.
Yeah.
He could show them his Beware paperwork and say, this is what happened. I had lost my vote. I already passed on that scroll. I brought the pink scroll. I couldn't use it for myself. I gave it to Kate. I thought, everything he said, someone that I could work with, blah, blah, blah. But I saw her find something and now she's lying to me about it, so I can't work with her. I've got my vote back now. She doesn't have her vote. Like, she can't play a shot in the dark. Why don't we just get her out?
Yeah.
I just don't think that Coach, I think DC might have considered it, but I can't see Coach.
He got very opinion. I think DC
pink versus the world at that point.
I think Coach would have done whatever DC wanted, though.
You feel he's played a very strong loyalty game.
I don't think he's.
But also, Kate with no vote, it doesn't really matter. DC and Altus, 2 votes is enough.
True.
But yeah, so we get Kate actually opening her Beware advantage and being like, oh, well, shit. So she goes to the well and is basically just waiting there.
Tara, she's like, Tara. She's calling out.
Yeah, because Coach Hero is like, all right, come, hello.
Let's go, Tara.
And of course, the green person that comes along is not in fact Takan. DC, you have to look at every option available to you. You do. That is absolutely correct.
So that tells me that he was thinking about what I said.
He was thinking about. He definitely was thinking about it.
I also think if he was there with someone who's not Coach, he may have been more inclined.
He was there with Takan.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were already looking to break up the girls at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think in an ideal world, Kate would have passed it off to Takan, but of course it's Megan that comes up and we get the same thing of her being like, I don't know which way north and south is, so this is useless to me. But yeah, she just wants
I hate for Megan that Mark was there at that point. I was just like, oh, fuck, he doesn't have all the goddamn advantages and idols at this point. Like, his knowledge is so powerful at this point in the game between what he has and what he knows. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I think the north-south thing is probably a bit of a production mistake.
It's rough.
Do you want people to find these idols or not? Like, people may not be able to work this out, right? Like,
and by the time she passes it off, the sun is down.
Yeah, why not 10 paces when you use the North Star? Why not 10 paces from, the tribe flag with the logo,
towards
behind the back of it? Yeah, or what something that's clearly definitive.
Or even like having on the map that way's north, so they can look at it and go, like from under the clue from the tribe this way's north,
Yeah,
so they can at least pace it out. Like, oh, okay, well, shift that's north, based off the map.
Well, so you have such little time at camp to go searching for these things, to be messing around with these sort of complex instructions makes it very difficult for anyone to find it.
Kyle, if only we gave them all instructions of travel north at the very first challenge.
Kyle, I think
so sassy.
Okay, so the point is that where they came from is south. If they can remember that,
they're not going to remember that.
That's I get it, Kyle, but I think you're giving players too much credit in a heat of a moment situation.
Exactly. When it's so fast paced, you're thinking about every fucking thing else going on. I don't give a fuck where north is. Just tell me how many paces from the flag.
Yeah, I think you're better off with here's a distinctive thing at your camp.
Yes.
Here's where the idol is.
It's a production choice. Do you want people to have idols that make Survivor interesting, or do you want people to be able to show how good they are at treasure hunts? Like,
I mean, it's making for good fun watching them do it, like with all because production are making them look real stupid.
I feel like this is an advantage-heavy season, so I'd like to see more idols in play. On a non-advantage-heavy season, I would probably be like, whatever. But there's a lot of things going around with extra votes, lost votes. I would like to see some more idols.
This merge is gonna be fucking crazy. We've seen like crazy shit happen at merge, like RIP myself. This is gonna be even crazier.
But presently there are no idols.
Well, there's one, but it's not going to be good at merge.
If we think the merge is happening at the start of day 2, the first merge vote is in.
And only 2 tries have been given the clue out of 3.
There's still another clue to be found.
Yes.
Well, because Kate will be passing off the orange one next episode, presumably.
Yes.
Yes, but the beware advantage on the green tribe hasn't been found.
God, those girls weren't looking for shit.
No,
yeah.
No time.
They did not have time to look for anything.
To be fair, the pink one only got found by mistake.
Yeah. So if we're assuming that there was one on each and it each had 2, so each tribe has an idol that has 2 clues that lead to the same idol. If the beware advantages were found earlier, that would have been very interesting to have potentially 2 people on a tribe with a clue to an idol, probably not knowing that the other person has one. I think if it had played out the way they wanted it to, that would have been so good. It's unfortunate it didn't, but yeah. But yeah, so where was I up to with Kate? Oh, she was told that she was going to be able to pass orange on the way into tribal, and so thought she was going to be able to hand it off there. Now, she didn't, but she goes back and says, oh, I've got my vote back. We're all good. I think this was probably the right call to at least – I would have pulled the boys aside and been like, I don't have it back, but I've asked production and they've said you'll have a chance to give it to Orange at tribal.
So I'll have my vote, yeah.
Yeah, and so that way when she doesn't have her vote later, they're not surprised by it. She'll be like, I didn't get a chance to pass it off.
But she'll get it. I don't really get it. She'll get a chance to hand it off before she goes to a tribal again.
But the fact that she's told them she's got her vote back.
She came back from the well and said, I handed them both off.
Oh, yeah. But
that's what looks bad.
But then we also like...
Because she didn't vote, right?
Correct. Well, I mean, they only pulled out 3.
So she lied to them.
They didn't pull out a no vote. But then next time on, she confesses to it. She was like, and
we see Coach being like, oh, my trust in her has gone down.
25%.
Yeah, but it's sort of like you get why she did it. You know,
like I said, if I was her, I think she needed to pull Coach and DC aside, not Altus, and just be like, hey, I've asked, this is when I'm going to get a chance to hand it off, so I should have my vote back by the time. And that way, when her no vote, when it's revealed that she didn't have a vote, they're not surprised by it. She hasn't lied to them.
I think the problem is that she didn't want DC and Coach to know she didn't have a vote. I think she was worried that
but at least this way, they think she will have a vote.
But if they don't actually pass Orange, which presumably they didn't, then they know she doesn't have a vote. So I think her concern was her lack of vote, and therefore her lack of shot in the dark opportunity was going to make her a more appetizing target over Altus. So she wanted them to think she had the vote.
I don't think that DC and Coach are a pair that are going to scramble at Tribal Council. I think they've gone into Tribal Council with a set plan. I think DC could scramble with another player. I don't think he's going to scramble with Coach because Coach can't be so easily convinced.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, but I'm thinking Kate was playing at a paranoid level on this one where she was very jumping at shadows, particularly when she's got outers specifically throwing her under the bus. So she's not only jumping at shadows, she's jumping at the fact that she's done some dodgy things that her tribe doesn't know about, and they've now been informed about it by a player who's pretty upfront. And that might be appealing to a coach and even the DC.
Yeah. No, for sure. If they're exposing a player that they think they can trust, absolutely. It just sows discord.
Yeah.
I never changed the buff. I had a plan to break out the yellow buff. Here we go.
DC, from memory, we knew we had to protect Kate, so we might have known before we got there. Okay.
We'll see how that plays out.
Really worried.
Yeah.
I think they had the right call. Yeah,
no, I agree.
Look, the thing is, there was a lot of distrust on this pink tribe, and we've seen that play out, but they don't all know that they all felt that way. And,
I think they did.
But now they've actually had a vote where they all work together.
Yeah.
So Kate may have had feelings where she didn't trust DC, but when you've actually voted together and, voted someone else out, then you do actually have, my vibes were that I didn't trust him, but his actions have shown that he is trustworthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that it for the episode?
Well, we get the tribal. There's not much happening at tribal that's worth talking about. We get the whisper conversation. Tara being like, I want to talk to Jess real quick. That same conversation about the extra vote. Do you want me to use it? And Jess actually says to her, I trust you. And that's music to Tara's ears. That's what she needed to hear more than anything else, I think.
See, my paranoia went the other way. I was like, this Tara thing now, she's being targeted here because Jess is trying to placate her by being like, oh, it's fine. Don't play it. I went overthinking.
Is this the first whisper conversation in the LRG history? It's usually not allowed because people are not individually mic'd up, and therefore it's not possible to get the actual
your TWIOSLH companion behind the scenes wants to verify if this is yes or no.
Eden.
He's saying Eden did whisper conversations at Tribal.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he did.
He did.
There you go. And they didn't get up. They just sat there and sort of,
I don't know which was filmed first, but air dates are what matters. So
I think these two were filmed very close together, Backyard and Canberra.
No, this was definitely
filmed.
Yeah, no, I think this was filmed. Unsure. Okay, so I think Backyard might have been filmed first. Are there anything more for the episode? If we get into 12?
Eden can tell. Bring Eden on, and we can tell us.
Well, we'll bring Dani out as we do. We'll see you soon. I will remove the comments myself.
Good.
And now we're bringing in a person that needs very little introduction. The People's Champion of Canberra Survivor.
The reigning People's Champion.
The person who's going to cause me to spend $1,000 on drinks in Canberra at some point in this year, first quarter probably. And of course, someone who knows probably, I think more than you and I about these seasons, despite our coverage over the last year. He has responsible for the Canberra Survivor wiki, which is amazing. He and another person are putting together a broader LRG wiki, which, if you have information and you want to assist, they want assistance to complete all the data. There's lots of information that needs to be inputted. So I'm sure Eden can give us more information about that. But I think this is going to be an incredible challenge for me. Zach wants to be avenged. Well, maybe Eden will make a foolish but exciting choice for the listeners as well. But without further ado, let me bring in the People's Champion and Edgic King for this season. Eden, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm excited to have someone take down CK.
I was taken down once. Kyle beat me.
He did. And I wanted to have him again.
A bit. But this is going to be a challenging round. I've done extra research for this one. And Jules says
she's made the questions extra hard.
Yeah. Well, first, before we get into it, how do you feel about this season's People's Champion, Zoe?
I love Zoe. So I've just loved watching because she's had that poor girl's had the worst time of it, burning out her entire family. So yeah, really love her. In my Edgic, she's not giving winner contender yet because she's coming in circumstantially to the narrative, in my opinion. But in terms of her gameplay, phenomenal.
Do you think
But
she's
I
giving
can see this
top
being
five?
a winner edit though.
Top 5 edit. That's what's important.
I could see top 5. I could see her going out in the exact same spot as me. I think so.
Wouldn't that be iconic? No, I can see this being a winner edit though, because they want to hide the winner a little bit. They don't want it to be in your face. So I can see it still being a winner edit. She's not.
I don't really see the winner edit, but I definitely see top 5.
Yeah.
That said, I was surprised. I was surprised to see Jacob go out this week. Very surprised by that.
Yeah, I was too, actually.
I also saw Takan in the comments complimenting Eden's shirt, which is a fantastic shirt. But he's never complimenting my shirt, so you know. Oh my god, the shirt! It actually has pink and yellow for the 2 freaking tribes. You know.
You guys are putting a lot more effort in than I am.
I do it for you, Jules. I know you like the color coordination. It's your bugbear.
I do. But we're here for TWIOSLH. I will recap the rules as always, just so the millions and millions of viewers know how this works.
Yeah.
So we will have 6 questions. Eden will choose basically all the questions. We're going to have 1 question from episode 5 of Backyards 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then another season of Eden's choice, and then finally a season that will be decided by a wheel. You'll be asked the question straight up. You have the chance to answer it without hearing multiple choice. If you get it right, you get 2 points. If you get it wrong, your opponent can steal and get 1 point, but they don't get multiple choice. If you choose to hear the multiple choice options, you will get 1 point and your opponent cannot steal. I think I got it all in there. But Eden, what season of Backyard would you like first?
Let's start with Backyard 4.
Backyard 4. All right, I will say, episode 5, there seemed to be a bit of a theme. There were a lot of idols played in episode 5. I've got notes here. There was an idol played in Backyard 1. There was 3 in Backyard 2, 1 in Backyard 3, 1 in Brisbane, 1 in Sydney, and a safety without power. That's 7 idols and a safety without power, all in episode 5. So I just enjoyed that. I was watching it. All right, and Backyard 4. So there were 2 redemption challenges this episode. The first redemption challenge of the episode had to be stopped and altered before players could continue. Why was this?
I'm going to need the options.
Okay. Did they run out of something? Someone was injured? It was taking too long, or there was a production mistake?
You've made it hard for me because I'm so good with like numbers and with like names, but this stuff escapes me. I'm going to say that they ran out of something.
Correct. They ran out of water. They had to like carry water and like throw it across, and then they were all out. They were like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah.
There's actually a funny moment for Julie there because they're like, Ken had done the most, so we'll have 2 minutes and then 1 minute, and then Julie, you hadn't done so well, so you can be 5 minutes behind.
Because
and
she
she's
was
like,
short, and she was having to like throw a bucket of water over. And
she's like, can we get this measured, please? Like, this random 5 minutes allocating me. So
Kyle, that was the end of the water challenges on Backyard. Yeah, that's fair.
Cool.
All right, Eden, what season would you like CK to answer first?
He can do Backyard 1.
Backyard 1. There was a lot in this episode of Backyard. There was an idol play, and there was a 2-2-1-1 vote, which was exciting. But that's not what the question's about. So the challenge was the same challenge we saw here. It was idle hands. During the challenge, who was hit on the head by their own idol?
How is that not in my notes? I do remember that happening. You know what? I'm going to take the options as well.
Okay.
The shameful options.
Was it Calvin, David, Rem, or Tyrone?
I don't remember it being Calvin. I don't think it was Tyrone. I reckon it was David.
It was Rem.
Ugh.
He did that awesome move where you throw it up and it came back down and just bonked him on the head. Sorry, Kyle. I mean, they're all Backyard. Eden, would you like 2 or 3?
I would love to have 3.
3. Okay. So after Zach's gallant performance last week, I had to make a question about him. At Tribal Council, Zach played a hidden immunity idol. How many votes did he negate with it?
0.
That is
That's
correct.
an easy question.
That was I didn't not all of them were harder this week.
That's easy as.
All right.
He
So CK
was so
Backyard.
delighted with his idol play, and he's looking around, and they are not bothered by it at all. He's like,
No.
all right, CK. So Backyard 2. This was the merge episode. Tribal Council had 3 idols played, resulting in a 0-vote Tribal Council. One of those idols was found due to a clue hidden at the merge feast. Who found the clue?
Jack.
Correct.
Wow.
Wow.
It was in the chocolate straw thing.
Little, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So going into the final question, Ed, you've got a 1-point lead. Which season would you like your next question from?
I think we know. I'll go Canberra versus the World.
I knew you would pick that. So I've got a little bit of something different. First of all, this was the first episode that I was away for, so I have no notes. So that made it harder for me. But I've got something a little bit special. I've got some options here.
Oh.
So you're going to have a choice. I've got a question where, I don't know how to describe this. So I've got a normal question that's got multiple choice options and everything. You can choose to hear that if you don't want to do the first part. The first part, though, no multiple choice and no option for CK to steal. But I will give you 2 points right now if you can recreate the iconic man-hating conversation between Orca of the season and the winner of the season that was later recreated on this show. Doesn't have to be verbatim, but has to be pretty close.
I'll try. It's not going to be. I've watched this episode like 4 times. It's not going to be.
I'll tell you if you choose to go for it, you can't hear the question after that.
Oh, I can't answer the question after
the other option.
Oh,
I just that one. Yeah.
Okay. I'm happy to go for it, even if I don't do it so well, to make it more interesting. Without getting the multiple choice.
I don't mind this either, because if he beats me on this, I'm just not going to count it as a real win. So either way, we're good to go.
This is hard. This is a big thing that he's got to do.
Yeah, but I don't know how hard you're going to judge this. If you say he has to have it word for word, sure. But if you're just vaguely...
There's certain points that I'm specifically looking for.
Either way, I'm cool.
I remember Bethany, talking about her flight, and she's like, I'm sick of men. I'm sick of them sitting next to me on the plane and spreading their legs. And and then Loz is like, I've been in a male-dominated field all my life, and I've had men belittle me and bully me and intimidate me. And I'm sick of it too. That's kind of all I got.
I would like to say you didn't get there because you didn't mention the bit about Loz having men tell her how to do her hair.
I didn't mention her.
Which was, I thought, the most iconic point. Because what the fuck do men know about how women should do their hair?
It's up to you, Jules.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to pay that because what I've got, I just wanted to do it. So we've got, I'm so sick of men just on a daily basis, like on a regular daily basis. I've had enough of them. I've had enough of them on Survivor. I've had enough of them on the internet. I've had enough of them, sitting next to them, putting their fucking legs in my space on the plane. And then Loz says, I'm a female in a male-dominant industry with some of the most masculine men. I'm tired of being gaslighted. I'm tired of being bullied. I'm tired of being spoken down to. I'm tired of being told by a man how to do my hair and how many earrings I'm allowed to wear.
That's beautiful.
It was amazing. And I'm sorry you didn't get the points for that, but I just wanted to throw that in there.
It was fun.
I think getting it was fun enough.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for the wheel. Shall we now? Sorry, give me 1 second. So if I get this question right, I win, is that the deal?
If you get it right without multiple choice, you win. If you get it right with multiple choice, it's a tie. And you were 1 point ahead going into this.
Yeah, I'm on. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And if it's playing with fire again, I'm going to scream.
Sydney.
It's Sydney Survivor. First time we're answering a question about that.
I have no notes on Sydney, so let's see how this goes.
Let's see how you go. So for this episode, we had a double tribal with individual immunity. Players were holding 10-kilo sandbags above their heads. Who was the first person to drop out of the challenge?
Dani.
That is correct.
Thanks, Dani.
Had to include her somehow. She hasn't even been an option yet.
Do you want to give Eden the Canberra question to see?
All right. This is just for glory, right. No actual points. So we had a double tribal council. The new black tribe, because I couldn't make it about your tribe, the new black tribe voted out Squin unanimously over Aiden. Other than Squin and Aiden, whose voting confessional did we see on the show?
We see Andrew's.
Yeah.
There you go. So if you hadn't have made it fun, just like Zach, who made it fun, you would have won. But the official record will give me the win. So, congratulations to you for keeping it interesting for the viewers. That's what we love here. On the Orca show, it's not about winning. It's not about being strategic. It's about being entertaining. So
exactly.
I like that you have. I like you brought it to us exactly the way it should be, just the way Zach did last week. But congratulations for coming on and being such a. I watched Sydney on 2 times. I haven't watched a single Sydney episode for this quiz yet. That's how afraid I was of you for this episode. So because I have no notes, I'm like, I better watch the Sydney episode on a fast. So thank you so much for coming on. And look, tell us about the Edgic that you and your friend are creating for the whole LRG, because I think it's amazing. But I know you need help to fill it all out. You can't do it all yourself.
In the wiki.
Yeah, the wiki. Sorry, yes.
So my friend, shout out Jaden Osborne. My friend and I, we've created this wiki of all the seasons. It's got all the LRGs, the Australian ones. So Brisbane, Backyard, Sydney, Canberra, and Melbourne. And it's just got information from every season. At the moment, most of it is very basic. It's just, maybe the voting table and the season table, but we've got like the ability for anyone to go there and add the information, maybe for like your player profile. And if you're not sure how to do it, you can look at the Canberra stuff, because I've done everything for Canberra. But you can also message me or message Jaden, and we'll be happy to help. Just please feel free to go onto the ALRG wiki and add everything. It's just nice to have a chronicle of everything. And then, for future players, if they ever want to look up and see, what was on this season, but they don't want to scroll to like a specific point in a specific episode, information's right there.
If
the next time we do TWIOSLH, it'll make it so much easier.
Oh,
yeah.
If every person who has played just went on and wrote about the stuff they did, then it could be done in with an hour's work for everyone, or 2 hours, depending how far you went. But that could be a simple way of doing it.
Love it.
Yeah. I want to write my own player profile. CK was the best.
It'll be the longest one.
We'll have essay length.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Ed. And I saw the Canberra one that you'd done, and I was like, man, this is so good. I wish this had been done for some of the other seasons, and I love that you're bringing it all in. It's so fantastic. It's such a valuable thing for the community and bringing the whole community together. So thank you again, and thank you for coming on and making the show interesting once again.
Thank you for having me, and I've been loving your coverage again.
Thanks, Eden.
Thank you.
Dani, how do you feel that you were the answer to the question?
I loved it. I put the eyes up before I realized what the question was. I was like, fuck. I was like, no, I'm the answer. I can't put eyes.
I thought you might not like being the answer for that particular question.
No, that's okay. That's okay, because it made people think that I wasn't anything to worry about. As we move, I mean, not that the challenges or anything to worry about anyway, but it made me less of a threat at that point in time.
But as I said, I was so worried about Eden that I did watch that Sydney on about 2 times and would flick through just to pick up the points, because I don't have notes for it. So without having done that, I might not have got it right. And that's the threat that I saw Eden coming into this game, who would have won if he'd not gone for the fun answer.
Yeah, look, that was a tricky one. That's why I gave him the other option.
Well, he was always going to get his season right, no matter what it was. So, yeah, that was fun. Yeah. That was really good. So, thank you again, Jules, for wonderful questions. Thank you, Dani, for being back with us this week. Always love having the 3 of us. Great content. We'll be back next Wednesday, as usual, covering the show. We'll have another interview. Maybe I might have 2 interviews, presumably. you'd imagine that 2 people might get booted. And we'll, of course, be back with TWIOSLH with I won't spoil anything, but I think next week, another former backyard contestant lined up, but one that is well-versed. Well-versed in the entirety of the community as well. So someone very interesting, but I don't know how good they are at trivia, so it's good. They don't scare me quite the way that Eden scared me. So we'll have to come and see.
It depends on their recall ability.
I'm not sure what their recall ability is like. But in any event, it will be a fantastic episode. We'll reveal who that is later. Obviously, tune in to the next episode of One Well this Sunday, and then we'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you very much to everyone who joined live in the comments and to everyone who's listening after the fact. We appreciate your...
which scene will they have to reenact? Well, I haven't watched episode 6 of that season yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're doing it on the fly, but we'll have to see what will need to be reacted next week as we continue, and what other production failures you can highlight in the questions, much to Kyle's. Until then, we will see you then. Bye.